Nintendo is a weird ass company. They can make a masterpiece after masterpiece, then release a chibi robo zip flash. Cheap blow, I know, but it's true. Nintendo is a great company and their games are fantastic, but their business decisions are really weird. You have Nintendo Switch. No. You have Super Mario 3D All-Stars in its completely stupid limited release, not just physical but digital too, and I still don't get why that happened. Yes, I bought it, and I'm a weakling, I admit that. But the thing is, nothing will be as confusing, annoying, and frankly disappointing as Nintendo Switch Online. Switch Online is the Switch's online service, no surprise there, that had you paying a monthly or yearly fee so you can have access to the online multiplayer, which was free for a year or two after the Switch released. However, when it was brought to the Switch, we got several other features, like cloud saves that not every game supports, let's just brush over that, exclusive bonus items for games like Animal Crossing New Horizons, Splatoon 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the big thing that made people happy at first, and demanding the next. Also released around the time was the Nintendo Switch Online app, which was incredibly useless. It was used for party features where you'd use the mic on your phone to talk to others, which could have been done on the base Switch by plugging in a headset with a mic, but Nintendo doesn't like convenience. You could also order items for Splatoon 2, view stages, images and videos for users playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and something else with Animal Crossing, but I've completely forgotten. And how about all those features? Not bad. For a month's worth it's only $3.49 for a month, $6.99 for 3 months, and $17.99 for a year. This is actually pretty decent. When it was revealed, it was a nice breath of It was a nice breath of fresh air since PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold cost much more. However, it made up since Nintendo's online servers are very, very mediocre. However, there's something I haven't mentioned yet, and that is the successor of Nintendo's Virtual Console. When it was first announced, Nintendo Entertainment System games were added into a Netflix-like app with games like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and other more meh titles. However, it would include online multiplayer, which was a pretty good feature, but who's going to play NES games online? The original plan was to release NES games each month, with games including Excitebike, Double Dragon, Ninja Gaiden, and more. However, they also released special versions of the games. SP games, for example, are modified ROMs that include various features. For example, Metroid got an SP version where you had every power-up and was ready to take down Mother Brain, which is a neat way to experience the end of the original since, I'm sorry, I'd rather play Zero Mission than Metroid 1, but I don't think that's much of a hot take. However, people were getting tired, since NES games have been so overused that not just the Wii, but the Wii U and 3DS Virtual Consoles also had them. Everyone wanted new consoles. Announced in Nintendo Direct on September 4th, 2019, SNES games were added to the service alongside with 20 titles worldwide on September 5th, 2019. This included Super Mario World, The Link to the Past, and of course, the greatest game of all time, Mac 2. While this was an improvement, it wasn't enough for people. In my opinion, the inclusion of SNES games is a logical next step and more of an interesting step. This helps me find games I'm a big fan of now, like Kirby's Dream Course or Star Fox. Also, they added Star Fox 2, which is awesome, and one of the best games I've played, Super Metroid. But the service was missing inclusions like Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, unlocking titles like Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem Genealogy of Holy Water. I said water. Genealogy of the Holy War. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. And they only limited that to just Japan. It's annoying because they have good stuff here. It's Nintendo, for Christ's sakes. They're the company that holds most of the value of creative legacy IPs in the industry and have lots of them in a vault. The original lineup was good, but wasn't enough. And what makes it worse, they weren't keeping to a monthly release schedule. This was a downward spiral and got worse after the release of games like Super Mario Maker 2's Dreadful Online, where it'd become a PowerPoint slide. It was dreadful, and if you think that's bad, it was revealed that Nintendo's online servers run on, and I'm not shitting you, Windows 98. So, after the switch up, no pun intended, Monster Hunter Rise came out and showed a good amount of promise, and from what people have said, the multiplayer runs pretty well. And same with the release of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which also ran pretty well too. There were improvements being made, but people asking for what was next. We would get our answer on September 23rd, 2021 in a Nintendo Direct, where it was announced that Nintendo Switch games would be expanded with a new... We would get our question answered where on September 23rd, 2021 in a Nintendo Direct, which was also announced that Nintendo Switch Online would be expanded with a new plan, which would include Animal Crossing New Horizon DLC and Nintendo 64 games, and surprisingly Sega Mega Drive games too. This was a good update and was brought alongside some pretty good titles. For the Nintendo 64, we got games like Super Mario 64, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, Mario Kart 64, Sin and Punishment, which was really cool, and other titles too. However, there were only 9 titles, which kinda sucked. Sega did better, since Sega Mega Drive games totaled up to a nice amount of 15, and included some gems like Streets of Rage 2, Castlevania Bloodlines, Rystar, which you should play by the way, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It was surprising to see them joined, however, since they even had a Mega Drive collection on Switch. However, I want to bring up something later regarding that. So, how did all this go? It was a mess. A comedically large amount of crashes, input lag, graphical issues, missing features like the control pack to save games. I'd say Ocarina of Time was given the worst treatment, which small but noticeable input lag, and numerous graphical issues that just made the experience honestly just sad. It's really upsetting since games like Star Fox 64 and Mario Kart 64, and remember, I've never played Nintendo 64 games before, were a blast to play and I really enjoyed it, and it's even more sad because the company that did the Sega Mega Drive emulation is M2, who are the best in the business. Nintendo has, let's be honest, gotten away with a lot of controversy on the online service due to the pricing, with the normal price being $17.99 for a year, which we discussed earlier. But what makes the expansion pack harder to excuse, because while the UK price is only $34.99, which is alright, in other territories it's way too much, and how is there isn't an option to buy 1 or 3 months is mind-boggling. It's too much of a jump for people to make. And while they have promised to improve the service, I just can't take it seriously. Since the initial release, Nintendo has announced that games like F-Zero, X, and Majora's Mask and others are coming, including Banjo-Kazooie, a game that is owned by Rare and Microsoft, showing that Nintendo is going for the big deals to make the service even more enticing, most likely explaining the high price tag. Banjo is planned to release in January, Paper Mario is already released last month, and a few more Mega Drive titles like Toe Jam and Earl and Alter Beast have released. These releases are being more frequent, which is nice, but they need to do more and fast. From recent leaks, they are in total at least 38 Nintendo 64 titles planned, and the Mega Drive has an incredible 52 titles. There have been some guesses, like several Mario Party titles, Super Smash Bros., Wave Race, and even Perfect Dark due to a leak. The biggest hope is GoldenEye 007, one of the most popular FPSs on the Nintendo 64. The game has been in hell since the original release, with the Xbox Arcade remaster that was being developed by Rare and Microsoft, but was blocked due to Nintendo or MGM. However, recently the game has been removed from banned titles in Germany by Nintendo, and very recently, Xbox achievements have gone live for 2 players that have been playing, and have been traced back to 2 employees of Rare. And since Nintendo and Microsoft's relationship has grown incredibly over the years, with the releases of Cuphead, Ori, and Minecraft on the Switch, it makes more sense to say that some agreement has been made, with Rare and Microsoft releasing a GoldenEye port or remaster, and Nintendo adding GoldenEye to the expansion pack. Now, there's still a lot for Nintendo to do to show that they want the online service to improve, and we all want it to be the best it can be. So, here's some ideas that I have to improve the service. 1. Keep to a monthly release schedule. We have to keep in mind the amount of work that goes into emulation, so I feel 5 NES titles, 4 Super Nintendo and Mega Drive titles, and 2 64 titles is fair. It's 15 retro games each month and covers each system to some degree. Maybe some changes could happen, maybe if an anniversary is happening, that a game can be released separately, like with Super Mario All-Stars release for the 30th anniversary of Super Mario. 2. Fix and add to the emulators. This is an obvious one, the emulation needs to be up to snuff to ask for a premium price, but I'll go one step further. They should add additional options, like fast forward and rewind to the Nintendo 64 titles, and extra features like cheats or etc. Just to make the emulation better than fan emulators. This is a large ask, but this is a large ass company we're talking about. 3. Add achievements. This is something they should have been doing since the release of the system in 2017. Achievements give players more incentive to play more, experiment. I remember playing in the Xbox 360 version of Minecraft and getting achievements with a pig or the minecart made for some fun memories back then. And 4. Add native voice and messaging chat. Nobody's using the voice app, and it's annoying having to use external methods like Discord. This is a basic feature, and the fact we don't have it is really annoying. I don't even need to say anything. This should be obvious. Now, I know I'm being critical on the service, but I really want it to be done right. Nintendo makes fantastic games, and they really do mean a lot to me. That's why, when it comes to shortcomings, I want to hammer home to the point, since I know they can do way better. This company needs to wake up and get with the times. They live in the past, but the present too. And this Nintendo way isn't always the right way. They can be silent for months on future projects, and while it's understandable for game development, this shouldn't apply to the online service. We're paying a lot towards this, and we deserve some transparency. The best example I can think of is Xbox Game Pass, and Microsoft's willingness to pretty much tell us what's coming in the first half and the second half quite early in the month. However, what I will say is this. What gives me hope about Switch Online is the fact that Nintendo is trying to get some really big or classic titles, like F-Zero X, Banjo, possibly Perfect Dark, and even GoldenEye. And the fact that the Mega Drive is part of this means that titles that never appeared in the original collection could appear, like Sonic 3, on new consoles like the TurboGrafx or the Neo Geo. It would make it more enticing, especially Sonic 3. But that is appearing in Sonic Origins, so probably not. I just hope they really try. I feel Nintendo's success has gone to their head and aren't trying as much as they could. But that's just me. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and consider subscribing. And what are your thoughts on Nintendo Switch Online? I'd love to know. That ends the video. Hope you're all having a great 2022 so far. See you later.